Your check engine light comes on. The code says oxygen sensor, so you replace it. The light comes back, you replace it again. That single mistake has cost Japanese car owners thousands, because an oxygen sensor code almost never means the sensor has failed. 5 overlooked errors can spiral into catalytic converter damage worth $3,500. The first mistake starts the moment you read that code. A code like P0130 or P0420 flashes up on the scan tool. For most owners, that is all it takes. They order a new oxygen sensor, swap it in, and expect the check engine light to disappear. But a code does not mean the sensor itself has failed. These clues are just that, clues, not a final verdict. The engine control unit is flagging a reading that is out of its expected range, but the cause could be anything from a tiny exhaust leak to a wiring issue. Take P0130. This code points to the upstream sensor, Bank 1 Sensor 1. The service manual does not say to replace the sensor right away. Instead, it calls for a live data check. A healthy narrowband sensor should swing between about 0.1 volts and 0.9 volts at idle, switching back and forth at least once every second. If the voltage is stuck high or low, or if the switching is sluggish, that is when you start to suspect the sensor. But if the voltage looks normal, the problem is probably somewhere else. Short-term fuel trim is another critical number. The engine control unit will try to correct a lean or rich reading by adding or subtracting fuel, and it can only adjust so far. If the short-term fuel trim is outside plus or minus 10%, something is forcing the engine to compensate too much. That could be a real sensor fault, but it could just as easily be a vacuum leak or a bad connector. Skipping these checks leads to wasted money. Owners spend $150 or more on a sensor that was not bad to begin with, and the code comes right back. The real fix starts with a scan tool, not a socket wrench. But even when the diagnostics are right, many owners still make the next mistake, replacing the wrong sensor entirely. Confusion between upstream and downstream oxygen sensors is one of the most expensive mistakes a Japanese car owner can make. Modern Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Mazda, Subaru, Lexus, Acura, and Infiniti engines rely on 2 distinct sensors: the upstream sensor mounted before the catalytic converter and the downstream sensor located after it. Each has a specific job. The upstream sensor, often a wideband type, measures the exact air-fuel ratio and directly controls how much fuel the engine injects. The downstream sensor, usually a narrow band design, simply checks whether the catalytic converter is working. Mixing these up leads to chaos. Swapping a downstream sensor into the upstream spot, or vice versa, throws the engine's entire feedback loop into disarray. The car's computer expects a precise signal from the upstream sensor, sometimes across a full 0 to 5 volt range. If it gets the binary on-off signal of a downstream sensor instead, it cannot adjust fuel properly. The result? Rough idle, poor fuel economy, and a check engine light that refuses to stay off. In some cases, the wrong sensor causes the engine to run rich for weeks, slowly cooking the catalytic converter from the inside out. The average cost to replace a catalyst on a late-model Japanese car can top $1,800, turning a simple sensor swap into a financial disaster. Wideband sensors are especially unforgiving. They require an exact match to the original part number, no substitutions, no universals. Even a connector that fits does not guarantee the sensor will talk to the engine control unit correctly. Service manuals label sensors as Sensor 1 upstream and Sensor 2 downstream, but the physical locations can be confusing, especially on V6 or turbocharged engines. Smart technicians double-check diagrams and part numbers before touching anything. Misidentifying sensors is a mistake that keeps the check engine light on and the repair bills climbing, but the next error is even sneakier, one that most owners never see coming, and one that can make every new sensor look bad from the start. A tiny crack in an exhaust manifold or a loose intake hose can play tricks on even the most advanced diagnostic tools. When unmetered air sneaks into the system, the oxygen sensor detects a lean mixture and the engine computer scrambles to compensate. The result? A check engine light, a code like P0131 or P0132, and a strong temptation to order a new sensor. But in these cases, the sensor is only reporting what it sees. The real culprit is the leak, not the sensor itself. Technicians have a simple way to catch these hidden problems before any parts get swapped. A smoke machine, hooked up to the intake or the exhaust, sends visible vapor through the system. Even a hairline gap in a manifold gasket will puff out smoke, making the leak obvious. For those working at home, a spray bottle filled with soapy water does the trick. Bubbles form wherever air escapes, pinpointing cracks or loose fittings in seconds. One owner faced a $1,200 repair estimate after a persistent O2 code and a failed emissions test. Instead of replacing the sensor and the catalytic converter, a careful smoke test uncovered a split in the exhaust manifold gasket. A $30 gasket and an hour of labor fixed the issue. The check engine light stayed off, fuel economy returned to normal, and the emissions test passed on the first retake. No sensor was ever needed. Skipping this step is the fast track to wasted money. But the temptation to save even more by buying the cheapest sensor on the shelf creates its own set of headaches. And the fourth mistake is the one that keeps triggering the same code again and again. A cheap universal oxygen sensor might look like a bargain at $25 or $30, especially when the OEM part costs $180 or more. But that savings can vanish fast. The price gap is tempting. Universal sensors for Japanese cars often run a quarter of the cost of a direct-fit Denso or NGK unit. Yet the real difference is not just in the box or the connector. It is in how the sensor performs under the hood. On the bench, an OEM sensor swings its voltage from lean to rich in just over 1 millisecond. A cheap aftermarket sensor can take 5 to 7 times longer. That lag means the engine computer is always behind, chasing old air-fuel data. Fuel trims drift, the idle gets rough, and the check engine light flickers back on. In emissions testing, these slow sensors fail to settle within the required voltage window, leading to a 23% failure rate for aftermarket parts, compared to just 5% for OEM. The gamble gets even riskier with wideband sensors. Japanese engines demand precise heater resistance, usually between 5 and 14 ohms. Low-budget sensors often fall outside this range, causing the heater to underperform or even fail outright. One Lexus owner swapped in a bargain sensor with a 0.5 ohm heater. The sensor never reached operating temperature, sent a constant rich signal, and within months, the catalytic converter overheated and cracked. The repair bill was over $2,000 for a new catalytic converter and the correct sensor. Trying to save $100 on the sensor can cost thousands down the line, but there is still one mistake left, one that hides in plain sight and can make even the best sensor look broken. A clean sensor and the right part number won't help if the wiring or connector is compromised. Even a tiny bit of corrosion on the harness pins or a cracked connector shell can send the oxygen sensor signal haywire. Technicians start with a visual inspection, looking for green or white residue, brittle insulation, or signs of oil and coolant leaks near the connector. A simple wiggle test, gently moving the harness while watching live voltage, can reveal intermittent dropouts that trigger false codes. Next comes the back probe, a multimeter lead slipped into the connector to check heater circuit resistance. On most Japanese models, a healthy sensor heater reads between 5 and 14 ohms. Anything outside that range means the heater will not reach the right temperature and the sensor cannot do its job. One Honda owner spent weeks swapping sensors for the P0135 code, only to discover a hairline crack in the connector housing. A $6 repair to the wiring fixed the problem for good. Cleaning the pins with dielectric spray, tightening the fit, and confirming the resistance can clear codes that would otherwise lead to wasted parts and failed emissions. With the wiring and connectors checked, the full diagnostic process finally comes together. A step-by-step workflow like this keeps money in your pocket and your car on the road. Every successful repair starts with a clear plan. For Japanese cars, the difference between a quick fix and a financial nightmare often comes down to following a proven 6-step workflow. Step 1. Read live sensor data with a scan tool. Don't just trust the code. Step 2. Check short-term fuel trim. If it is outside plus or minus 10%, look for the real cause. Step 3. Inspect for exhaust or intake leaks before touching any sensors. Even a hairline crack can throw everything off. Step 4. Confirm the exact sensor location and part number. Upstream and downstream are not interchangeable, and the wrong part can wreck your engine's feedback loop. Step 5. Measure heater circuit resistance. It should fall between 5 and 14 ohms. Anything outside that range means the sensor or wiring is suspect. Step 6. Clean and check the sensor connector for corrosion or damage before replacing anything. Skipping even one of these steps can turn a $150 sensor job into a $1,800 catalytic converter replacement. On some models, the bill for a new converter and labor can reach $3,500. That is money lost not just on parts but on repeat repairs, failed emissions tests, and wasted time. The smartest owners treat every O2 code as the start of a process, not a verdict. With this checklist in hand, the odds of falling into the parts cannon trap drop dramatically. But there is still one final move that can make all the difference, one that goes beyond any single repair. Every year, thousands of Japanese car owners in North America throw away money chasing oxygen sensor codes when the real culprit is often overlooked. Smarter diagnostics protect your wallet, your engine, and your emissions. The sensor is not always guilty, but a rushed guess always costs. Stay sharp and drive smarter.